I know. Assalamu alaikum, ikhwa al-mujahideen al-kiram, haynama kuntum. Concerned citizen of South Sudan going live today, Friday, 6th of April 2018, with very, very important, topic 2 today, issues that we are going to talk about. And as usual, I'm really sorry we delayed our program today because some people, they asked so we can delay it a little bit. In order to accommodate everybody, because we need everybody to have a say as well. So, ana bashkurkum, every concerned citizen of South Sudan. It is 11, I believe 11, almost 11 p.m. in Juba, and it is with different times in the United States and Australia and Europe. I welcome you all to this program. Our topic today, as you can see it there, right there, but I will keep, repeating it to you while we are on the program. Nobody can go back and start a new beginning. But anyone can start today and make a new ending. That's our first one. And then the second one, what is the role of women in South Sudan peace? So these are two topics we are going to tackle together and interact together. Okay? But خليني نقول لك في البداية, most of time, and this question is all over. People have been, criticizing us, talking a lot, saying that why we are making a contrast between the United States and South Sudan or South Sudan with other countries in Africa. But you know what? We are not just making a contrast. It's not about the numbers of the years that you gain independence. يا جماعة ما بتوقف على السنين, ما بتوقف على أرقام اللي إحنا أخذنا فيه استغلال. Okay? بيتوقف على willingness, على رؤية إنه مثلا الناس بتاع البلد ده عايزين بلدهم ينهض. They want their country to go forward. That's what is matter. You know, years doesn't matter. Okay, I can give you, for instance, you know, people say that you should not make that a contrast at all. But you know what? We are not making contrast. We are speaking because our child was born and the child is not crawling, the child is not getting up, the child is not walking, the child is not talking, and therefore we have to show concern. If the child is not talking, if the child is not walking, if there's a lot of things that are wrong with that child, and then we might need, you know, to see a doctor to diagnose the issues, what's wrong with that child. And that's why we talk and we bring those to your attention, you know, and advocate and remind our people what the fight was all about when we fought against the oppressor for 21 years. Okay, I want to give you a raw example. Those of Thailand, those of Singapore, those of Vietnam, those countries in Southeast Asia, they gained their independence in the 60s. Del akhad istiqlaliyatum fi sittiniyat. Okay, the United States of America gained independence 240 years. Just subtract from 60s من ستينات للآن كم سنة تقريبا كم سنة. If you subtract that number from 200 years, well, it's going to be huge, maybe 150, okay? Or no, 190. That would be a different. So what about now the Singapore is competing with the United States in terms of, you know, technology, in terms of producing, in terms of work, in terms of laws. They are competing now. Are you going to tell me that we should go back and start a new beginning somewhere on the formation of a state when Europe was forming the state in 1200? And that's what you are telling me, those who are saying that we should not make a contrast. Okay? لأنه يعني كلام البرين في أذاني لما واحد يقول no, you don't need to make a contrast, or you don't need to talk about all this development and all these, you know, things that are going on. You are reminding me that actually نحن مفروض نرجع أخذنا استغلالنا في 21st century في زمن فيه موبايل، في زمن فيه تويتر، في زمن فيه ايميل، في زمن فيه فيسبوك، في زمن فيه all kind of, you know, وسائل الاتصالات السهلة جدا جدا. لكن في القديم الزمان الجواب كان بيوصلوا بحسان وبياخد أيام. الآن you can just shoot an email to your friend in Sydney, you can shoot an email to your friend in Juba or in Kampala or in Salt Lake City, right? So I want to remind our brothers and sisters who keep consisting, you know, saying that we should not make a contrast. We are not making a contrast, but we are reminding ourselves, you know, that actually we need to show that we are moving forward. And if we are not moving forward, and then there is something wrong with that, and if there is something wrong with us, we have to sit down and diagnose that issue and tackle it. So عشان نكون زي الناس تانيين كمان ولا كيف يا جماعة؟ That's one of the reasons اليوم أنا جيت بالtopic ده. Nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. Actually, quote that, it was written by Maria Robinson, and I have a great friend of mine. When I graduated from University of Utah, actually she gave me that to remind me that. All right, so now South Sudan gained independence in 21st century. We gained that independence in 21st century. If we gain that independence in 21st century, we cannot say, hey, نحن نرجع لحصر الحجري، هنرجع لعصور الوسطى، هنرجع لعصور القديم عشان نقدر نبدا زي ما الجماعه دي البدو. لا يا جماعه، ما ينفع كده، لان نحن جينا في الزمن شنو؟ الزمن كل شيء خلاص، يعني نحن سهله بالنسبه لنا. استقلينا وفي some infrastructure، عندنا oil، عندنا pipeline already، عندنا مشروع. Even though I will stream, you know, rice, it was there. في مشاريع، في مشروع في الرنگ. We have a lot of things, you know, available, but we just need to utilize this. But our brothers, they chose not to because of their own greedy, because of their own selfishness. عشان كده we have to remind those ignorant, those who don't see a potential for South Sudan to growth, for South Sudan to go ahead. Okay? عشان كده أنا قلت لا, we cannot go back يا جماعة. All right? So with that also, the role of women. لأن نحن دايما في social media, most of people talking to social media are the guys, okay, are the men, and women actually they don't come here and, you know, and express their opinion, so we can hear them also. By the way, we need to know this. في استطلاعات الرأي الوهمية بيأكد علينا مثلا نسبة النسوة في جنوب السودان هي 53%، وأما نسبة الرجال فهي 47%. فيا ما ترى النسوان المفروض يكون عندهم صوت right في كل خطوة في كل عمل سياسي العمل الاجتماعي هم المفروض يكون لهم دور ايجابي دور كبير مثلا يعني يرقي بهذا الوطن. اوكي ف one of the reason عشان كده انا جيت اليوم مثلا ب these two topic عشان انا شنو نناقش مع بعض. alright let's continue. I'm gonna go ahead and play song here بس حاجة بسيطة كده ونبدأ لأن أنا داير أجيب شوية موية كمان and then we move forward. Okay so let's do this. Of course. So كالعادة you can request me and we can go forward from now on. So let it started. So let me see here. Okay, I saw that you requested, brother. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you Kwang Pal. Go ahead and answer. Please go ahead and answer that. No. Look like your internet is not picking up, but I'm gonna try again. One more, I'm calling you right now. أهلا وسهلا يا أخوان. Welcome to concerned citizen of South Sudan.
Thank you, thank you.
طبعا أنت قريت the title.
Yes, I did. أسمع ممكن أقوله لك تاني؟
نقول لك تاني؟ Of course, no problem.
No. I totally get you.
Okay,
And
go ahead, brother.
I mean, let me just start with a comparison.
Okay.
A wise person will do a comparison because the very reason you're comparing things is because you want to improve something that is not existing.
Correct.
And we can compare our country with a growing country. We can compare our country with a country that has been in war and has gone or moved from.
Correct. Go ahead, Kwan.
Oh, sorry, somebody just called me. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't know why people get offended sometimes. Well, we're a new nation. Well, that's great. You mentioned a few countries. Panama was one of the worst country to at some point in their life.
Yes.
You have a country like Dubai. Dubai was built in only 10 years. Look at that country. So
that's a good rock.
Comparison are good. They're good in any type of way, whether to get you off from crisis of war or instability, or it good to help you from even just rising up economically. I like the way you put it out, and that's the thing that we lack of sometimes. When we try to do a comparison, people get offended.
Yes.
And it is wrong, and a white person should not be mad when you try to compare two things and then you took the worst out of comparison, because that's exactly how we're going to end it up. You're going to feel like, oh, well, Jongkor is a very good guy, but this is where he went wrong. I wish if he would have done it like Martin Luther King did it. Those are comparisons there.
Yeah, because Kwan, the reason, I brought this topic today, I realized many people, they criticize what we do here. Some people, they say, hey, you know what, you should go and talk to your own, constituency or your own, community, and instead of, speaking here to the nation. What I said to them, well, our ordinary citizen, whether they are Nuer or Shuluk or Anyuag or Bari or all this, they don't have any problem. But the leaders are the one that cause problem. We need to address the leaders so they can reconcile, themselves. Because when the leader reconcile themselves, citizens, they don't have any problem.
No.
And then we will go down there, with compromise, with an agreement that, the leader have reached, and then we will preach it, on the local level, okay? Another thing that I wanted to say, so when people are saying that, do not contrast, do not make a comparison between South Sudan and other countries in the region, okay? When people are telling me that, that actually is indication that they don't want to move, they want to move forward. That indication also, they wanted to tell me that, hey, Jongkor, you know what? We need to go back. We need to go back. للحصر الحجري ونبدأ زي ما جماعة البرو شوي. لكن لا يا جماعة، لأن South Sudan gain independent في زمن بتاع موبايل، في زمن بتاع انترنت، في زمن بتاع تويتر، في زمن you name them. وكمان عندنا pipeline was constructed ready. وعندنا مشروع ولد الروس، عندنا مشروع بتاع رنج، عندنا مشروع في عنزة، عندنا مشاريع. ما كان علوم بس وإلا شنو يشتغلوا من أجل هذا. لكن الأسف those people actually they stuck with the old minded وما دايرين تغيير فthat's why we want to challenge these people. We want to challenge them إنه ما ضروري نحن نرجع للعصور الوسطى. طيب إذا كان if that's the case, why President Salva Kiir today has an iPhone? Why he has a laptop and Apple like the one that I'm using? Why he's wearing a suit then? Why Taban is wearing a suit and having an iPhone? Why not just going back to Osura Losta? ويلبسوا حاجة اللي بيسموه شنو ده كبونغ or whatever, right? Because نحن جينا في الزمن، جينا الزمن أي حاجة has been elevated. كل حاجة is ready there. So that's what we need to do. We need to put our thing together. ونبدأ new ending. We can start today and have a new ending with those nations as Sabakona. Okay, that's what needed. So I'm sorry I cut you off. Continue, brother.
No, you're good. Critics are being criticized. It's another way to say, hey, Jongkor, you're doing it wrong. That's what people need to learn, not to get offended by it. And when we comparing nation to nation it is just that, okay, we can learn from this. And I said this numerous times that we're not at the era where we have to create things. Things have already been created by people.
Yes.
The rule of government has been created by others. All we need to do is copy and paste. It's just that simple. You know,
Yes.
if you like the system of Rwanda, adopt it. You like the American system of life, adopt it. Whatever country you can relate to in terms of culture, that's the country you want to go and do your research. That's what researchers do. So why being mad is because, oh, well, Jongkor is wearing a nice suit. Well, guess what? I am going to damn store and get a nice suit as well.
Of
What's
course,
wrong
as
with
long
that?
as I can afford,
You know, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Just because Jungkook bought it, it doesn't mean I should not buy it. And I think that's where we lack in here, and that's where we tend to get offensive and aggressive in our tone when somebody say, like this is the genocide that we have in our country. We can learn from many people. I mentioned Panama, Rwanda, who is very close to us there. We can learn from those kind of stuff and say, oh, well, Rwanda has been there. We don't want to be there anymore. This is where we learn. South Africa has been to those kind of genocidal. So when it comes to murdering each other, we can learn from those who has been in war before.
Yeah.
And then when we come to economic, we can look at
Yeah.
people like, like Dubai. Those are, we can compare ourselves economically that way. And then when it comes to education, we can go to very close neighboring countries, Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, the GDP is absolutely fantastic. We can compare ourselves with them when it comes to education-wise. But the irony of getting mad because Jung could point out something that is weak, I think it's arrogant, like you said it, and I hope people can learn from it because we can only improve when somebody question our way of operating. And then so I can give other people a chance, let me just jump to the women-wise.
Yes, go ahead.
As much as we blame ourselves as men for with inability to bring women to the table, I think it's kind of too naive because if Matilda want to compete with me to be a chairwoman, why can't she run? So we can at least stuck at some point where we say, oh, well, Matilda did not win because she's a woman. Like Hillary argument was making. That's a fair argument. She started something and then got to the point where it reaches that level, and then the manhood of the good old days boy come into the play, like Sarah Palin. The same thing, the good old boys play game. Our woman has not stepped into that game yet, where they say, hey, I am a competitive. Don't look at me.
I think because, Kwan, I think because we are the one that preventing them. We are the one that we are causing violence. We are not allowing the environment to be suitable for them so they can compete. And with that, I want them to raise their voice too, to speak up, because now women are the majority in South Sudan, And زي ما أنا قلت لك قبل في استطلاعات الرأي الوهمية إنه بيأكد على إنه women in South Sudan today are 53% and men are 47. Imagine when we voted for referendum in 2011, 10. Actually, women are the vote. Women, were majority for and then men. Okay, if that's the case, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, women tend to hold a large number. A country of war, of course, the number is going to shrink, no doubt. But now coming to let's just compare ourselves with Khartoum. That's where we can see the differences there. What do women do in Khartoum? Police officer, teachers. Those are their job. Other than that, it's when it comes to federal government, you can see 1 and 2, but you don't really see that much. That's the same attitude that we adopt from the north. It's just the same way we operate down the south, and that's why you see our women tend to be behind. Even though this is not about education, it has nothing to do with education. I think women have rise to a level that unbelievable. It's just the intimidation of good old days boys with women expectation. And we haven't gone through that. Through our neighboring country, all 7 of them, they operate.
And even though the IGAD and the IGAD chairman for the peace revitalization that happening in Addis Ababa, which is going to take place on 26th of this month, the representation of women is very poor. You can say that. The chairman keeps sending, email out, please include women, and they are not including women. Imagine, they are not, Can you imagine? So women of South Sudan don't know this, but actually IGAD, they are eager. They want to see women participating so they can have, their say. Right. But they are not being. They have been ignored. And that's why I hope today they will come here to the show and just express themselves,
I said this.
Last word.
Our women, especially in the Western world, they need to start more their activism advocate by just running for the communities. Let them run the communities, because the politics is, we're not born to be politicians. We learn to be politicians by reading out the outcome of viewers and opinions of individuals. That's where people become politicians. Women can be politicians, men can be politicians. It's just, correct, that insecurity, you doubt yourself. It's the same thing like us here in the Western world, whether you're woman or man, you doubt yourself to compete with a white person because you're just like, oh, I am an immigrant. I cannot. Yeah. A lot of us have that doubt. And it's the same livelihood women are living in. They just feel like, well, if we did this, men, they're not going to like it anyway, so why bother? And that kind of pushing them back. But I hope, they understand that you, myself, and I'm sure some of the men are watching here, we're a big supporter of them. We love ideas from women or men. If it's going to help us, bring it over and we'll share for you. But, the good old days boys do play a role. Look at that woman from Kenya. She was running to be the head of the EGOT. Guess what? They pushed her to the point that we didn't even know where she went. Who was behind that game and all that kind of stuff. But we in South Sudan, I think we're better than other African. I'm not just trying to brag about this. When it comes to our women, I think we love our women, and we would like them to participate with us in any type of whether government, community, whatever.
Well, Kwan Mulwal, thank you so much, my brother. It's always good to have you on the show and express and come with your perspective. Thank you, and please stick around. We have more to talk a lot about it today. So I'm going to go ahead here and get Madut from Denmark. So,
hey, I get my suit, so you're not going to complain about my t-shirt.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to go now and just bring in Madut.
Thank you.
I saw Madut requested.
All right.
Okay. Okay, let me go ahead and see here. Where are you? Madut, are you? I'm calling you now. I hope your internet will cooperate today. I hope you are there. Of course, I love this song. I grew up with this song. We used to go to Shigla, in Khartoum. We have learned a lot, Ahlan wa sahlan ya akhi from Denmark.
Hello, Jongkor.
Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome on board. I hope you read the topic, Dr. Madut.
Of course, I read. I really understand as well.
Okay.
Salam alaikum. كيف أخبارك؟
Alhamdulillah, wallahi bikhair.
أنا ما قاعد أسلم عليك وما قاعد ترد علي مالك.
أنا سلمت عليك قلت لك أهلا وسهلا وأنا بخير يا أخي. أهلا ومرحب بك في كونسيرن سيريز أنا
أنا قاعد أسلم عليك وأنت ما جايب خبرني.
أنا سلمت عليك وداير نكسب زمن وأنا قاعد أقول لك why do you think we should go back? Why not starting today and have and have a good ending? Why do you want us نرجع للعصور الوسطى للحصر الحجري؟ ليه? Why do you want to do that? The word is yours, Madut. I hope your internet will cooperate, Dr. Madut.
Hello, Jongkor.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, I'm here. I can hear you very well.
I try to say hello, but you don't care. Actually, maybe you are busy. But anyway, let me go on the topic.
Our viewers are hearing, and I said hello and hello and hello. You want me to say she back?
Okay,
I say hello.
ما في مشكلة. تحية لك. سلام عليك. تحية لك من ما في مشكلة. يفوق. I like that. أسمع اليوم بسلام عليك. دنمارك especially. عندك ما شاء الله عندك جروب كبير في دنمارك. شباب كلهم محترمين وبيحترم أفكارك. نحن يا جونكور أولا يفيد ننفوني ندير نقول للناس عشان الناس يستفيد. كده نمسك ولاجة من الدور بتاع المرة في سلام الغائم. يتعرف المرة الجنوبية يا جونكور مرة لعب دور كبير جدا 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 وبمناسبة ده.
Madut, go back to the first question, please. Don't skip.
أنا عارف. It's okay. مع الاثنين عندك اثنين question. الدور بتاع المرة في سلام وبعدين إنه الناس يمكن يبدأ من أسا وليست انتظار. ده كلنا جايين فوق لكن لنبدأ أول حاجة بالنسبة للمرة لأنه يعني مهم جدا جدا. أنا بدي تهيأ لزوجتي خاصة يعني نحن أيام كنا في كلا المرة الجنوبية لعبة دورة جدا يا جونكور. أنا أتذكر كنا في المعسكر بتاع الصفوف الأمامية النساوين كان في هيلا يعني هم
Go ahead. أنا معك يا Go ahead. I hope your internet will cooperate today, Dr. Madud, because it looked like it's kind of giving you a hard time there. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, أنا سامعك بس I don't know network.
لا وكان بعمل بسرعة عشان ادي الناس فرصة. المرة الجنوبية لعب دور كبير جدا جدا من الزمن بتاع نيانيا 1 نيانيا 2 لقاء 83 وحتى اتفاقية وحتى هذه اللحظة. يعني أنا الجنوبية لعب دور كبير جدا، يعني ساهم مساهمة كبيرة جدا. فعلا أنا متفق معك. نسبة النساوين في جنوب السودان هو النسبة الكبير تقريبا نسبة 51 وطبعا الرجال الحرب شالهم. بس أنا داير أقول شنو يا جونكور، حتى في سلام موجود يعني في 2014 2015.
Sorry man, sorry. It looked like the internet actually is not cooperating with Brother Madud. Let me go ahead. Maybe I might bring him later. So let me see here who else have requested so I can bring them on board. Again, I hope this thing will work for Brother Madud. Madud, go ahead. If it's working, I can give you another, Okay, let me go for a good right now.
يا كمان جونكور.
اهلا وسهلا يا سيد أبوات.
والله يا اخي انا زعلان شويه كده.
انت زعلان من شنو يا اخي؟
اخي سنو نازل تان لين يا في شاربا يا.
It's okay, don't worry about it. That's life.
اسمع.
They were able to get it, They live in a very hard condition, but they know how to live with it. And that's what we want actually,
طبعا your topic is very excellent,
Okay.
Yeah, like you said, what you said again? What? No one can start.
I can read it for you.
Okay.
Nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending.
I am sure you listen a lot to Bob Marley music sometime.
I do.
Well, African leaders, those who have liberated their own countries, and those who didn't, they are not different.
Okay.
Maybe few of them have done, a lot very excellent, and maybe they're less than 5%.
Okay.
So in that context, my brother, our African canon is in trouble, and I don't know why African don't learn from their own mistake, and instead of moving forward, they are moving backward,
Okay.
That, might be blamed to the youngest, and, and it's very difficult also to blame the youth and the young, because, these are also are in trouble too. In a situation of South Sudan, it is very, very different, because
what do you think need to be done? What do you think need to be done to involve the women? What is your word to the women?
I will come to women. I'm talking about, the back to the beginning and today, whatever, you said, they are all making sense, So
okay.
In that,
yes. If they are making sense, in many occasions, I have encountered, talk with you on the social media, okay? And I have made a contrast between South Sudan, okay? I talk about the Emirates, I talk about Jordan, I talk about Saudi Arabia, I talk about Sultan Oman and Egypt and all these countries. And I point out that actually Emirates, they don't have river. They don't have a fertile land like what we have in South Sudan. They
Well,
don't have, listen, they don't have minerals. They don't have mine. The only source that they have is the oil. But we South Sudanese, okay, we have everything. We have actually we are richer than than those in Gulf, Mindwal Al Khalij.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and yet,
Jongkor.
and yet,
And fam
when
Kalam,
I
I understood what you said. I got you, man. I got you, but you need to understand this,
Yeah, I want you to answer this question. And then the question is, when I made a contrast, you guys always say that, oh, these countries, they've been there 250 years and we are new. Does that justify if we are new? Lo jana ma bemshi, okay? Jana btaglu ma bemshi, jana btag ma bitkallam, jana btag does not kurol. What do you do as a father? Would you take him to doctor or just will you keep the child until mother jana imut? What would you do?
Jongkor, it doesn't have anything to do with those Gulf nations you're mentioning. It has to do, listen, go back to African people, they have been depressed, they have been enslaved for the last 500 years by outsiders, invaders, correct? Sudan is not exception, okay? Even though we have resources in South Sudan, we have been at war, 50 years of brutality of war, 200 years plus since 1820, when the poor outsider invaded Sudan. As Sudan, South Sudan in particular has been put in a very container by the outside power and those who came to us as to claim to be Arab themselves. They invaded us, and they use, an elimination manner. They just want to get rid of us. Of course, we fought wars, and 50 years become very brutality. That means we have generation that was born in war, died in war, and those who were born unable to liberate the country. What happened after? The investment, those who have invested, the hatred within us, also use it against the tribalism within South Sudan. Okay? Because of that, even though we have got our country, someone bothered me, man,
See?
Someone just called me.
Okay, what?
Even though,
let
me finish the point. I
want to get you here. I will let you finish. But your problem is, for instance, now you have a daughter and you have a wife. If you cannot find a job to support your family, if you cannot pay your bills, if you cannot pay electric, pay rent, and pay all these things, would you blame it on a neighbor or would you blame it on someone else? Because I have seen, for a long time, you are blaming your problem to others. Oh, well, like the Western world, Kawajat, they want to loot our country, Kawajat, they wanted to do this. Brother, you need to quit all these things and come to your senses. That the problem is ours. The problem is not the European. The problem is not African.
Come on, man. What I'm saying, brother, and I'm talking to you, Vitahrik, and Ghana Kalamna, Mafi Tahrik, Sudan, will tadmir al Qara al Afriqiya. And again, I'm not saying that, I'm not, listen, in everything we have to understand the context of the history. History matters a lot, التدمير الحاليا اللي قاعد تأثر على الشعب الجنوبي ما تأثير جابوه امبارح، ما تأثير بتاع 2013، ما تأثير بتاع 2016. تأثير ده يتحصل more than 200 years plus. Okay, that one we cannot ignore it. If we ignore it, we are insane to ourselves. We are insane. So we need to understand that yes, history matters a lot. What happened in the history has. Now your brother في تاريخ بتاع الحرب بتاع 1983 في بعض من المجتمعات
أقول
man جاي لك يا brother
going too far. I ask you a specific question and you want to answer those specific questions.
Man جاي لك يا brother,
please,
how do you want to answer كلام تاعك يا it there answer like I am coming to answer to you and you just want to throw me away like like someone who is crazy in the bus,
No, I am not throwing. I want you to make sense to our viewers, and I want you to make sense to yourself.
Well, what I'm saying, I'm sure most of these people, they understood very well, and it makes sense unless they are rebel and they are listening to themselves. If they cannot get me right, and if they cannot get me right, they are against the interests and the future of the Republic of South Sudan. Period. I will now say this, and I will repeat it again if they want me to repeat it. Yeah, Jongkor, we cannot go back to the, and blame ourselves. But we have to make sure that history matters a lot. تاريخ يا برادر لازم تاريخ مهم جدا. يعني هسه حاليا ليه قاعد نشاغل ندوب بنات كل يوم؟ ليه؟ لأن في بعض من الناس أبارهم قتلوا حمارهم قتلوا. هسه الناس بيقولوا قال 2018 oh they kill my people, we cannot do this, we need to go back and talk. Okay, if you want to go back and talk about 2013, we need to go back and talk about 1820. That's where we will begin and be able to find exactly what happened and a stigma. As في أمريكا أنت قاعد في أمريكا في زول زنجي ممكن يمشي مدرسة يكون دي في دي ولا ماستر ديجري وفي خوايا بطلع من السجن with a felony بلقوا شغل أكثر من الزنجي. كلام ده صح ولا no؟ في أمريكا موجود هنا الزنجي يكون عنده دكتوراه ولا عنده ماستر ديجري والزول الأبيض بطلع من السجن with a felony بلقوا أحسن شغل من الزنجي. Why? Because
in America there is an opportunity. Listen, in America there is an opportunity. Listen. If you work hard in America, you will earn it. If you don't work hard, you will not.
No,
so
that's wrong.
You are justifying. What are you trying to justify it here?
Well, what I'm saying is المشاكل اللي قاعد يحدث في القارة الأفريقية له علاقة بتدمير الخارجي. ليه؟
تدمير الخارجي؟
لأن الوسائل بتاعت الريسورس الموجود في القارة الأفريقية وجنوب السودان بصفة الخاصة.
But if I ask you a question, if I ask you a question,
I want to understand this. And if
I ask you a question,
no, before your question,
listen.
No question. I need to go to the women.
Yeah, but before you go to women, these people, those people you are talking about them that they are the one that causing problem. Those are the same people. Yesterday they can send it back. Those are the ones that push pressure on President Bashir said regime change or allow referendum to take place. Those are the same people that set up a Sudan lifeline.
It is older.
Right? No. Yeah. Don't you think those are the same people who backed you up yesterday? The same people who made it clear that
الاستعمار الافريقي اسمع الاستعمار الافريقي امريكا ما استعمر جنوب السودان ما استعمر السودان. اوكي let me make very clear. امريكا ما استعمر جنوب السودان في التاريخ الافريقي والتاريخ السوداني ما في استعمر الامريكي. الاستعمر جنوب السودان هو الاوروبي والعرب. اوكي انغولو ايجيبشن ولا اوتومان كينجدوم في 1820. امريكا ما جالنا. امريكا جالنا 200 مغربا في بعد في الثمانينات بعد ما مرضنا مشينا السوفيت يونيون. Man, brother, let me answer.
Go ahead and move to the women issue so we can wrap it up. I have a lot of people waiting. I have a long list.
No women first. I want to tell you telling me that there are 33 countries. 33 countries were the signatory to the peace agreement in 2005. Correct? 30 قرن 30 دولة plus. They were the signature and witness to the CPA of 2005. And I have said that before that. Why do 33 countries ignore South Sudan? And they know South Sudan is a nation coming out, emerging from the trauma of war. And they knew very well that they said early that they will not let down South Sudan. Why now? Why now they have chosen a dictator, a tyranny, a genocidal leader of the Sudan, of the Khartoum regime, and sided with them. And instead of supporting South Sudan under any condition, they refuse to do that. Why? They want South Sudan to be a new Congo in Africa. That it will not be accepted. We will die as one, and no one will be able to take South Sudan under only when we are dead. Now,
we want
women.
Listen, brother. We want to act like a grown-up man and handle our issue, and acknowledge that we have made a mistake, and that mess we have created it. We have to fix it. Don't blame it on Bashir. Don't blame it on anyone else.
We have not made no mistake yet.
Go ahead and move to the women issue. I know you. Go ahead.
Women issue. Before I move to the women issue, let me make a little point. And not if I'm a question. Kalam Arab Makasar. الدول الذين ساندوا جنوب السودان في 2005 جماعة القلب على جنوب السودان القلب علينا شافونا الناس ايموشنال القلب علينا في النهار بس كمان انا بلوم مثلا دائما انا بلوم حكومة جنوب السودان حكومة جنوب السودان برئاسة الفقير مياديد رياض مشار فقرنا عموم وكل محركة الشعبية اللي كان موجود في الحكومة لأن ليه هم فشلوا اللي شنو البشير قال لهم قال أنا بشير حركة الشعبية برا بجيب الحزب الاخرى عشان يحكم في جنوب السودان.
Jing Council of Elders.
No. Jing Council of Elders ده كلام تاني. They are being accused for nothing.
No.
You
know what it is. You know what it is.
قريب لترميت الحكومة بس عشان بس ناس جنگ بس عشان they have been accused for nothing. They have nothing in this.
No one has problem with Dinka. ما في زول عنده مشكلة مع Dinka أصلا.
No, في ناس مشكلة.
Forget about that.
الناس مباراه زو عمليه عرق مباراه شفت عمليه عرق قاعد نفس دينكا.
No. كده don't worry about.
كده يجي كلام قال أقول ملتن جاب لنا صورة بليو لابس ليبا أحمر وزول.
Okay, finish your thought. I want to move on.
Okay, now مبدو بتاع دور women have done excellent work in the liberation, before now South Sudan. يعني في تحرير جنوب السودان النسوان عملوا دور كبير جدا. يعني في النسوان عملوا اقتصاف. لأن اللي قاعد نمشي لمناطق بتاع الحكومة بتاع الشمال عشان يجيب معلومات. قتلهم ضبهم في الطريق والشالهم في الرق مش باعهم برا. يعني النسوان لسه يعني they work very hard. عملوا دور كبير في التحرير until South Sudan become independent. And this is the problem. After we become independent, women they become victimized by الحركة الشعبية زادة والعذاب الأخرى. They victimize women. إن شهيد مرة شغل لازم يدو أغنى واحد. دي شاب كلام ده. قال عشان مرة يدو شغل ولا بنية يدو شغل يدو أغنى واحد. Without أغنى شغل ما في. كلام ده صح يا جماعة.
But that's why أنا مرة فاتت كنت كلمت عن President Kiir كنت كلمت عن moral standard. You guys came after me and said why I have to say that. لأنه أساسا every leader should be held accountable when it comes to a moral. لأنه ما ممكن تكون president and you are just corrupted financially morally. لأنه زي كلام أنت ذكرته ياسر ما ممكن أنت تقول مثلا you have يعني مثلا ترجع something with women and then you can hire him. ده بيحصل في الدولة إلا في and why it should be that way.
Yeah.
It should be that way. Why it should be that way? And when I point this thing out last time into Gutule, why did I talk about this? And the president
Jongkor, the way you brought it, the way you brought it was different than the way you brought today. Sometimes the way you explain it, the way you interpret
it doesn't matter. That's the truth.
No, it matters, man. It matters.
Right there.
No,
because I was speaking
if you bring me a situation in a twisted way, you're gonna make me crazy. I will go crazy on you.
Hey,
make sure you do it according.
I am a concern.
I'm the old school guy. I'm one of the old school. I'm old school.
I'm a concern. Because I am a concern, I have to speak to our people directly. I don't have to hide anything.
No,
okay, no one I can fear.
My brother.
Right? So thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna move
on. No. Esma,
no, it's not between me and you because we have a lot of people who have to participate.
I don't care whether you have 150,000 people watching. This is what I'm gonna say to you. You said that you guys don't listen. What do you want to be done? You want Salva Kiir to be hanged overnight? Just منكر process بتاع القانون ولا كيف? If you want to hang Salva Kiir because he has a guilty guy, Salva Kiir is not the only SPLM member in the country. Salva Kiir with hundreds of SPLM members.
I didn't say that I want to hang Salva Kiir. Listen. I didn't say that I want to hang Salva Kiir, but you and I and other South Sudanese who are concerned are aware that Salva Kiir has failed the people of South Sudan since 2005 all the way to 2018. We were fighting for justice, liberty, prosperity. None of this have been achieved. Instead, he created war and he started killing our citizens. He did not even focus on nation building. So now it's the time for him to step aside and allow South Sudanese to take care of their affairs and fix this mess. That's what we are asking. That's what we are asking.
اسمع العلاقه الرئيس اسمع العلاقه الرئيس الفقير ما رفض he did not refuse to step down. يا جماعه كده يا انتوا يا جنوبيين let us try to address our trauma. Let us try to support the center of council.
We are done, my brother. Thank you so much for coming on today. I'm gonna let you go because you spend
whenever I spend
more time.
Asma,
1 minute.
You kick me out with Madud. You kick out Madud like crazy.
Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. Go ahead, please.
1 minute.
It's the time. We gotta go, please. 1
minute. Al-Agha Rais, Lieutenant General Salva Kiir made it the commander in chief of the SPL of South Sudan People Defense Forces. والقوات الأخرى ما رفض to step down. President Salva Kiir did refuse to step down. لكن في متمردين في كارتوم copycats. The mentality of Bob Marley, mental slavery. Dol Joe لك بعمل جو سرق قروش وقال داري كور واسع without giving respect to the commander in chief. كلام ده سلفا كير يجك دول شيل قروش كله وقتلوا الناس وقال سلفا كير عمل يا برادر عايزين جنوب السودان يفهم كلام واضح. عايزين انتخابات حرة ونشيل انتخابات ونشيل سلفا كير برا ونشيل يانغ مشار برا نشيل زول برا. أنا زار أنا ما داير under a new party to lead the country. وأنا زار أنا أقول وين. No, listen. I will run for the election in 2020. لا ما كنا نتكلم يا جاكيا ما كنا نتكلم يا مالك يا brother.
Yeah, is the time to go. Thank you so much.
اسمع كلام كويس.
Okay, that's fine.
Brother. I will run for the election in 2020 كرئيس لجنوب السودان. إنت واضح يا شعب واضح كلام ده. Is it understood correctly? Check finger pop. Check finger pop then. أنا كاي رئاسي.
Here in this forum, though,
and I want to
speak
vote
either
for
English
me.
or Arabic. You know that. You know the rules. In this forum, we have to speak either English or Arabic. Okay, thank you so much, my brother, for coming in today and have your perspective. Okay, it's the time to go.
Let me say this. Go, brother. We want next time, let's try to give, when we want to do the show, let's give the African traditional prayers. Badak al-Masihiyya, wal-Islamiyya, wal-Al-Diyan al-Ukhrayya, Badak. May the Almighty God, the Creator, bless the Republic of South Sudan and peace be to all. Respect to Salva Kiir.
Okay. Thank you, Agud. Thank you. It was good to have you anyway, because Agud, I know, one day you will be, in a different position, and the other day you will be in different position. So let me go ahead here and see who requested as well. We are getting so crowded here. I do see that. So many requests. Please hit the green button so I can bring you in. Hit the green button, please. It's time to move on. I don't know, where are you, Charles Deng? I don't see you, Charles. Yes, let me see here if Nibol, because Nibol, I believe so, she requested a little early, but I don't see the... Actually, Nibol didn't send in a request, and I want her to send in a request. As I said, we have been talking about the women, and this is the role that they need to play. This is their talk today. Nibol, can you please send me a request? Nibol, your camera is twisted. Just send me a request so I can... If you are not ready, I can move on and then I can bring you later. Yeah, I want to call Nibol, but he's not requesting. So. Okay, I'm calling you, Wilson.
Hello.
How are you, Wilson? I tried to, her camera is not set up, for a position that I can call. She need to hit the green button. Actually, in order for me to bring you on live camera, you need to hit the green button. If you don't hit the green button, there is no way I can, I can get you in. Okay. So.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Am I clear?
Brother Wilson.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Jongkor, for your questions.
Oh, yeah. Well, it looked, I don't know if you didn't read the topic. I can go ahead. The we have two topics we are discussing today. The first one, nobody can go back and start a new beginning. But anyone can start today and make a new ending. That's the first one. The second one, what is the role of women of South Sudan? Peace. These are two topics that we are discussing today. I need your perspective, Brother Lado. Go ahead.
Yes, yes. First of all, I would like to thank you and thanks the audience out there. And once again, as the peace process is coming up in Addis Ababa on 26th to the 30th of this month, and both of us are looking forward that this is where we're going to have our lasting peace. So this is the hope that we have. Right now, I'm gonna go right away into the topic. You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a green button. Whatever show there for you to call to be on live show, that's what you need to click actually. Maybe on my phone it will show green and your phone it will show yellow or it will show blue. Whatever you see there, that's the one that you need to hit. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Lado.
Yes, this is a golden opportunity once again to highlight a few points regarding the problem of South Sudan as we are going through all this war until right now. And it's very important that we should always remind ourselves from time to time that this problem happens long times ago and is still existing until right now. And we all know the struggle of South Sudan is started since 1954, when our people feel that they were marginalized from all aspects of life, and power have been only concentrated in Khartoum, and as a result, South Sudan was a closed zones, and development have been focused in Khartoum, and South Sudan was left and was neglected, and as a result, South Sudan was marginalized. And we have a Juba conference in 1947 where our people decided that they wanted to have a self-independent country, that they can govern themselves at least so that they can be able to bring about a sovereign country that will be ruled with the system of federalism. Right from that moment, 1947, and our people knew that the best system of government is federalism, because this is a system that it's going to ensure that the grassroots people will be effectively engaging into participating into ruling their country, and also for the smooth delivery of the service to our people. And when I say the service of the people, because saving time, this is range from economy, security, and providing a suitable and conducive atmosphere for our people in order to engage into exploiting their resources to improve the quality of their life. Those are things which is very critical, very important, that is worth mentioning from time to time, to keep reminding us that the past is connected with present and with future as well, so that we can start putting things right.
Correct.
Yes, those are the answers and concerns that all of us are looking after it. And it seems people are coming with different answers, with different formats, but these are the common grounds, that the root causes that make our country end up in this situation as I speak right now. And it is worth mentioning that we have to remind them from time to time, so that we have to have a clear guidelines. Yes, then now we know that we are heading now to Ethiopia. And in a previous occasions, I have made it very clear that there is no any doubt that our women played a very important role during our struggle since that time of 1954 and until our modern movement in 1983, whether it by participating in our political wing, whether it participating in a military wing, whether by them participating in providing nutrition, providing food, providing logistics to our people. So our women has a greater role that no one will deny in our history of struggle as I speak to you right now. As a result, all of us in South Sudan, whether from political aisle or whether from all our institutions, we have come into conclusions that we cannot deny our women. As a result, even in these interim constitutions, we have stipulated that women should have 25%. This is a recognition from us to our women and for the part that they have been playing and still they were playing. And right now, as we are heading to Ethiopia, we still pursuing with greater commitment and passions to our women that our women should be having 35% is stipulated in the upcoming permanent constitutions, and this may go up to 50%. This is immense recognitions from us men of South Sudan that our women has a greater part and a greater role that they have played and they will still playing because we believe that woman is a mother. Woman is a mother, woman is a sister, woman is a friend, woman is a wife, and not only a wife that should be only their role confined only within the household, but our women has demonstrated through all this time that they were part and partial of our life in all aspects. And now for our women, this is a challenge to them, that we men of South Sudan, we have recognized you throughout our history. And we have recognized the sufferings that you guys went through until right now. And as a result, that have been made very clear in our system until now. And now if we can do a contrast and comparison with the Western world, you see the level of education, the level of civilizations that the Western world is right now in. And you can see the participation of the women either in the level of a government or in a level of all the institutions. And compared to where we are right now, I think this is something that is worth that people should appreciate, that we have awakened and an eyes has opened into the humanity and the human rights, that a woman should have equal pay like a man. So what a man can do, a woman can also do. So at the same capacity. Right now, what women have to do in order to advance, and enhance this initiative of peace which is coming up in Ethiopia. I would like to recognize the role of yes.
Wilson, I don't want you to lift one thing out, because if you recall, the first one in the title, actually nobody can go back, and start a new beginning.
Yes.
But anyone can start today.
Yes.
What do you think those who think we have to go back, or they are refusing when we made contrast South Sudan and other countries, and why we are not moving forward, why this baby is not walking, why it's not talking, why it's not crawling? What would you tell them? And that's why actually I brought that point, specifically
yes.
today.
Yes. And to be specific, because for me, was mentioning this so that it will be a stepping stone. And now I'm going into the answer of today. Today, why women has not been given those opportunities so that they can exercise the talents and the skills that they have to be demonstrated in changing the aspects of our life, to improve the quality of our life. We all know, simply because despite of the fact that women has been stipulated this percentage, but then when you come on a practical aspects, women have not been given those opportunities in order to exercise the skills and the knowledge and the capacity that they have in our community. Right now, what they need to do, ground. They have to go down. Yes.
I want her to log out. You both log out and come back, because it looked like your video is blocked. So log out and come back. That will make it easier. Go ahead.
Yes, right now,
I give you 2 minutes to wrap up.
Right. Women need to go down to the communities, at the level of communities, at the level of our social fabrics, that they have to go through reconciliations between them in our social fabric, through the activities that they were doing. And getting people together, because women is so closer to our community. They have to go out there. Mama Ayendit is already been doing.
Go ahead.
Mama Ayendit has been reaching out through non-charitable organizations, providing education.
Well,
and then,
Lado, Wilson,
yes.
I disagree with that. I haven't seen Ayendit is doing anything. No, my brother.
Yes.
I don't know if you see it. That's something. I haven't seen Ayendit doing anything. In J1 there, I haven't seen her doing anything at all.
Yeah, it's not that because look, because we need to give people credit too, even if they were from the part of the government, they
Of
have
course.
to speak the truth, because it's about the woman. It doesn't mean that because she is the first lady, when she's doing the right thing, we
I
shouldn't
understand.
appreciate her.
I understand.
Yeah, so
But
this is for me. I have shown her. For me, I have shown. Yes.
I haven't seen her going to the estate. I haven't seen her going even though to my home, you know, of Nyamlet,
yes,
or to Tori, to all these places.
Yes.
And go there and
Yes, but
see vulnerable children and all this. And that's the
yes,
role of actually a first lady. I haven't seen that.
yes, yes. The role that I have seen, and I have a reliable information. I've given attention.
Go ahead.
Women, I'm going to bring it up. It doesn't necessarily because she is the first lady. She is our mama, and she is the first lady of the state. That one, she's doing the right thing. We shouldn't praise her. We shouldn't give her the credit for that. There is many women that I'm going to list them as an example of what the women are supposed to do right now to push the peace process to go forward. And this way, that when we criticize, we should criticize in a logical manner. It doesn't mean that when she is a first lady, if she is doing something right, then we deny what she's doing right to the people.
Do you know what?
You know?
Lado?
So let me go ahead and finish my thought.
Mike,
let me go ahead and finish my thought.
Yeah, I will let you
allow
finish.
me to
I
go
want you to
ahead
wrap it
and
up.
finish my thought. Yeah, this is what our women. Yes, this is what our women need to do in order to push the peace process, you know, to push the peace process ahead and to help bring the peace. Right now, as they were doing through the women leagues right now in Khartoum, in Juba right now, they were reaching to the people in our community, to non-profit organizations. They were helping with food, and they were helping with educating them and through reconciliations, how we can be able to forgive one another, how can we be able to move forward, how can we advise our husbands wherever they were working so that they have to reconcile with one another, and make sure that telling them that it's time for us to move forward with peace initiatives and also resolve our problems through peaceful settlements. And by this, you are trying to clean up our society, you're trying to clean up our community, because this will come through the reconciliations, and there is no way out other than doing this reconciliation, so that we are able to clean up our people, so that we make them ready in order to accept a peace, because the charity starts at home. The peace means we got to go and make our society be able to live together, be able to live in a harmony, be able to forgive, and be able to move forward, so that they look into positive things, that they can notice that we have a lot in common that can bring us together, then that can divide us. So those are the things that can be done through reconciliations. And I believe Mama, the first lady of the state, she's been doing that. She has an office in Juba, and she's reaching out, and like many other women out there are reaching out. And now when we say it women, we have to know that we have to forget the aspects that this is from opposition's group or this is from the government group, but women's all as together concerned for the South Sudan. Now this is a part that we need to stand together, like we stand together as a man. Also, women need to stand together and say, look, despite of the fact that we are divided right now, we need to move forward. We need to do the right thing so that we bring reconciliations through our society, through our communities, so that this will ease and help the peace to come very soon. So this is the idea that I would like to put out there, and this is the fact that I have. And this is exactly what Mama Ayendit has been doing with other women out there, despite of the fact that she is the first lady. It doesn't necessarily that if she is doing the right thing, then we won't give her credit. We will give her credit because she has been doing something which is right, reaching out to the women in order to bring about reconciliation within our social fabrics. So this is the concern, and this is how we can be able to empower women, provide them with the skills necessary, providing with the training through the reconciliation program, which is training them to become a peace agents, to become a peace advocates. And peace means also you go out there and heal the wound through reconciliation in our social fabric.
We ran out of time, my brother. I have a lot of people, online waiting as well. So thank you so much for your perspective. I respect your opinion in that regard. And of course, yes, like I said, nobody, can go back and start a new beginning. But anyone can start today and make a new ending. And that's why we keep preaching every single day. It's not necessary to go back to a stone age or we have a country, we can provide the services, we can have infrastructure in the country, and we can have rule of the law, and we can have fairness in our homeland. So thank you.
Yes, yes, definitely. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We are now in technology. As you can see,
Yes.
let me give you one example before I could finish this. You know, when I go back there, I want to remind the role of the women. I want to remind what brings us into this state and what we're supposed to do. We know right now one of the things that you cannot continue to rule people with that old constitutions because it's not longer relevant to the current situations. And that's why I say the interim constitution has a lot of negative things because it has bestowed president with a lot of power, and definitely even the president has a power that presidents can be able to dismiss even the government officials who are elected. And because presidents have been bestowed with a lot of power, definitely it has reached us into this stage. Therefore, it's warrant right now that we need to have an inclusive constitution so that it includes all the rights of people of South Sudan from all walks of life. And this is exactly the comparisons that I would like to put out there. And one thing that we would like to see, we will want a matured politics that whereby we need to recognize and acknowledge the credits, give the credits to who belongs, even if they belong to government. If they are doing the right thing, we give them credit. And if I'm from oppositions, if they were doing the right thing, we give them credits. Because like I said, right now, as I speak right now, our country has reached into a tantamount situation, into a very risky zones that requires all our efforts, the warring parties and the government, so that we have to see our flaws and put those flaws down and learn from those mistakes and do the right thing, which is through reconciliations and settling our issues through dialogue, so that we can be able to come out with a lasting peace. This is the only way that we can have a peace that will last for a long time, that can be honored, so that we can rest once and for all.
Thank you, Lado. Thank you so much,
yes,
brother,
and I would
for coming
like
in
to
and
thank you out there.
Yeah.
And we always disagree to agree. It's not personal.
Of course.
We just put our ideas, right?
Of course.
And we take these ideas, as long as these ideas can put us together and can get into one channel of bringing a stable South Sudan, an independent South Sudan for all of us. And so I would like to thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And God bless all of us, and God bless South Sudan and all of us, and looking forward towards Ethiopia. And I have seen Kadir Sezan Jambo. I would like to greet you from here, and let's work together to bringing a lasting peace in South Sudan, because at the end of the day, peace belongs to us. We are one family, and we are striving together, putting all our different efforts into one basket so that it can bring peace, peace that we can all enjoy together. And I would like to thank you so much. God bless.
Yeah, of course. That's Brother Wilson Lado right there from Vegas. So thank you for coming on and, you know, having your perspective and opinion be heard. What I wanted to say, though, because we talk a lot, you know, about the topic and the issue of women, and now we just touch, you know, the issue of First Lady of South Sudan. You know, yes, we can agree to disagree. I haven't seen anything. The most important thing to me that I wanted to see from First Lady of South Sudan, the country at war, people are suffering, you know, hunger, disease, unknown gunmen, human rights violation, human rights abuses, many things that are happening. What a woman can do when the husband is in control, when the husband is in power, even though if you are a king, do you remember the wife of Pharaoh? Okay? She has a say too. She has an appealing to her husband. And that's why I see here, children of South Sudan every single day, they are dying from simple things, from malaria, from hunger, from all these things. Would it just be simple for a first lady to appeal to her husband at the middle of night? At the middle of night, no one can hear, okay? And say, you know, honey, yes, you are the king of this country. But you know what? Sometimes king can care about his people too. I am a mother, and the children are dying every single day. Okay? For the sake of peace, okay, and stability for the country, you can do something. And we have got to the level that no trust now anymore. Not trust. Nobody trusts President Kiir anymore. And I said this many times, and I will keep repeating myself every time. I said this many times. And if you're still supporting Salva Kiir, unless there is something wrong with you, period. That's what it is. It's not a joke. It's the truth. Since 2005, the country is heading to nowhere. The country is heading to hell. Okay? What it should have happened when we gained independence, President Kiir would have called all the South Sudanese on the table. Hey, we got what we are fighting for. We were fighting for justice, liberty, prosperity. Now what next? Let's go and write constitution. That will guarantee the fundamental right of the people of South Sudan. But it didn't happen. So now, a wife of the president, you have a chance to appeal to your husband. We are run out of time already. No more trust. Honey, step aside and let those people fix it. You had that 13 years and you couldn't do anything in a better way. And I think if President Kiir has a feeling, and then he will listen to his wife. And that's the role of wife. The wife can do that. Sometimes we can act, one way, but a wife can appeal to you. All right. So thank you for, again, Brother Wilson. Let me go ahead and see who requested next, and then I can bring them on board as well. Okay. I will go for Matilda because it looked like something wrong with the Nibble phone. So let me go ahead and do this while I'm waiting for my sister. Ma, are you there? Are you still in darkness? Are you still not?
Yeah, I will never get out from the darkness until Salva Kiir is gone, Riek Machar is gone, and we will be 50-50 equal.
Yeah, Matilda.
Right.
You will come and tell Arabic. I want you to express yourself in a sense that everybody can hear you. You have opportunity also. You can use Arabic if you want to. Fadal, my sister, and you read the topic as well, right?
My brother, أخوي جون بيقول لي إن أنا لسه في darkness عربي مرات بضرب مع إنجليز anyway. قال أنا لسه في اللايف فيديو أسود وكده. أنا بطلع برا عشان أشوف وشي ويا حاجة لما Salva Kiir ورياض مشار all of them are gone.
Okay. You still scared from unknown gunmen. I got your point.
Not a non-gunman. بقول له شنو أبو العمير رئيس فلسطين الله يرحمه كان خاتي نظارة بجنبه واحد مفتوح، لكن إحنا ما عارفين حقيقته شنو أصلاً. كان هو خاتي النظارة ده عشان هو ما دير يشوف إسرائيل ولا هو بس في حاجة. فأنا بقول للجنوبيين يا جنوبيين إحنا تابانين، إحنا فينا متعلمين مثقفين وغير مثقفين ومتعلمين، وفينا ما نسبة جهل أكتر من كده. إحنا ما بنفهمه لما يشرحوا لنا حاجة عشان نقدر نتكلم فيه وبنطلع برا من التوبيك. لما إحنا ننظر we are suffering all of us. ما تقول لي أنت في أمريكا wherever you are, we all of us we are suffering. لكن we don't sit down face ourselves نقعد تحت ونناقش المواضيع عشان إحنا نقدر نطلع بنتيجة. إحنا بنفتروا على بعض وكل ما عشان
Go ahead.
عشان نسبة الجهل فينا أكتر maybe ما يعدي 99%. إحنا بننظر على قبلية لأشكالنا وكلنا لوننا أسود وديننا واحد.
نعم.
مرة الجنوبية إحنا we have to stand up because our men they lose their mind.
Okay.
This time, right now, the women of South Sudan, let us put our hand together and to address رجال بتاعنا ديل. رجال بتاعنا إحنا يا بنلدو، إحنا وجع، إحنا بنلدو. نجري وراهم في فيسبوك they make live video they are threatening themselves بيهددوا نفوسهم. This is our time. Let us go there and talk to them. Nah, enough is enough. Salva Kiir, Riek Machar, وفي بيتك وفي بيتي ده. Who are dying?
Matilda,
right.
I want you to be brief. Actually, I have a surprise guest. He's already online. So please, I want you to be brief, my sister, because I'm going to bring him in, and then I'm going to ask him some questions, and you too will be able to ask questions. Go ahead.
You know me, Jongkor, my written video, we are blood.
Yes, of course.
You are my sister-in-law. My advice to my sister, be honest with you, sister, out there. We are 25% or 35%. We have to fight for it and let us be equal as a man in South Sudan, 50-50, because we are the people taking care of men to be president of Republic of South Sudan. Will be a rebel, will be a whatever he can be. But what I want from our sister, don't fight on Facebook. Don't fight on live video. Let us unite. Let us address our men. خلينا نكون سبب البركة في نصهم ونكون ناس ناجحين. المرأة الجنوبية ارتعبت واحنا حسي بقينا في رجال هسي بيعملوا كرابشن ده نساوين يا ربو لأنه كانوا في حرب وما أكثر من كده. we have to be سلام عليكم. وأنا أتمنى my advice to the women of South Sudan, don't follow your husband if he's doing wrong.
Yes.
Let us be the voice of South Sudan and follow the language of Suzanne Jambo. Suzanne Jambo, when she speaks, see that woman, what she's doing and how she is right now. Don't be a fella. Don't be a woman just in the house, housekeeper.
So,
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, thank you so much, my sister Zelda. And please, I want you, if you want to be in live video, whoever coming to live video, I want you to push that button so I can bring you, because I am unable actually to bring you on the live video without, pushing that button. So I can bring you. Just go ahead and do that now. So I can bring you right away. Okay. I wish that would be the case right now. Push that live video, the button there, and then I will be able to bring you on live. Go ahead and push that button. I'm still waiting. Go ahead and push that button. So go ahead and push that. All right, I think I'll be able to do this. It's not going, I don't know. I'm calling you. Like I said from the beginning, I have a surprise for you. So, concerned citizen, we'd like to introduce you one of the historic leaders and the former general of the SPLM party. Pagana Mom is live right now from Denver with you. So we will be able to ask you a couple questions here. Comrade, brother, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. Sodma Zahir. Nena mas amin sotak. Yeah, listen, Sodma. Itu Samina Soda Jama? Try again. Oh my God. Let's do it again. Maybe let me call you again. I can do this and then I can try it again. I want you to request me again and then I can bring you live. Request me again, Kamrat, so I can bring you on live. Okay. It should work this time. So it's going through right now. Hello, Kamrat, welcome back again. I hope it's going to work this time. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not my zahir. I'm not able. I don't know what's wrong. Into gantas mosot ya jamaa into lobtas mosot kada do thumb up lo gantas mosot. Inta sami sotna lakini ana ma samin sotak khalis. Huma ma samin sotak. الظاهر. Yeah, they are saying no. Do you guys hear? Do you guys hear him? No voice, yes. They are not hearing you, Kamrat. They are not hearing you at all. So, can I only sort? Maybe we're setting there is something wrong with sort. Then I'm going to sort it. Oh my God. Don't worry, we keep trying. We'll do this. I will do it. Don't be discouraged. And we wanted to hear from him. We want to ask questions. You know. I hope he can request that again, so I can bring him back. Go ahead and reset your phone. Maybe you can turn it off and turn it on again, and it might work. You know. I know, yeah. He's gonna try again. Yeah, reset your phone, camera, and then just call us back. We are here, you know. We have so many questions. A lot of people want to ask questions. And it's good to have you. So, in many occasions, actually our leader don't think that social media has an effect, but social media does. Facebook does has an effect. And if you recall very well, the current president of Turkey, Recep Erdogan, it was being deposed by military. But, you know, fortunately, because he got a call to Le Muzia, he was able, you know, to convey the message, and then the supporter came out, you know. So actually the social media have the power, you know, to deliver the message to ordinary citizens, to the leaders. And that's why we have this honored guest today to come here and speak directly to the people of South Sudan, and we have ability to ask questions. He was a former, you know, Secretary General of the SPLM party. What happened? We want to make sure why things are not going right, why we have war in the country. Okay, what happened to objectives of SPLM party? justice, liberty, prosperity. All these questions need to be answered. So let me go ahead and try here one more time here, if that's possible, and I can bring him on. So he's not there. I hope he can come back, and then we can continue. Let's continue, Jama. Don't be discouraged. You know, sometimes Okay, Charles, go ahead and request me while I'm waiting for him. Go ahead and request me. Charles, then go ahead and request. And we are doing some technical job here, no problem. Everything will be okay. Nibol, can you request me as well? I don't know what you did to your phone today because I am unable to call you. Okay, that's a good choice there. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in Teresa while we are waiting. And I'm not taking away your turn.
Hello. Hello, Jongkor. Can you hear me?
Ahlan wa sahlan ya Teresa. Good to see you.
Yeah. معلش وصلنا في سكة شبكة ما كويس. أنا يعني كان قطع أنا بس what I want to say first of all I want to greet all the viewers and I want to thank you for also inviting me. What I want to say, the step we just took right now to invite General Paganamom, this is very excellent, and we hope all of our leaders should also come on live to communicate with people. Yes. There are so many concerns, so many questions people want to ask. They should know from them. And correct. They need to explain why things are not going all right, what happened, you know? Because sometimes people will always go on and just assume things and speak. We want to hear from them because we, as a citizen, we also have our own questions and our own understanding for the situation. So to go to the topic, first of all, I'll talk more. I hope Charles is waiting. I want Charles to help there, you know, so he can bring him back. If he's able to communicate. Yes. Because I'm trying really hard here, but I don't see him online. Yeah, go ahead, Teresa. Yes, I want to salute my brother Charles also. He's helping there. What I want to say, when people saying that they're concerned citizen, it doesn't mean that this is an organization, but you're concerned about what is going on in your country. So that's why we all call ourselves concerned citizen, although we are having our own organization, our different affiliation with our own political organization. So this is not
Correct.
something bad. And beside that, your show here is also helping in awareness. And there are other shows like of Brother Edward and Brother Sebit and many like Michael and so on. They're all very good shows. So that's why we always, like every week, we will wait to come all as Southern Sudanese or South Sudanese to to talk and to communicate and to discuss about our country. And I'm very glad to hear or to see General Pagana Mom here today. He's the Secretary General of SWLM.
So Teresa,
Yeah. So to go to the point of women.
I don't want to take your time.
Yeah.
Would you allow me to try him back, and then I will get back to you as well?
Yes. As soon his line is working, you can just take me out, and
I
then
think he's here. I'm gonna try again.
yes, just try him, and I will talk later about the women perspective.
Of course.
About
Of course.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and try, sister, and let me try him back. Oh, what happened? I want him to just request me, because it was showing actually, but it disappeared. I want you to request me there, Comrade Pagan. Just send me that request. Because we are not friends, I was unable actually to do it here through, but if you send me that request, I will be able, to get it. Go ahead and send me on the same button that you push, a little earlier. That's the one that I want you to push, and then it would be able to direct it here. We will wait until General Pagan requests, and then I can bring him live. I know that he's here now, but I want him to push the button so he can, because he's not friend with me on the Facebook. That's why he has to request this button, and then I can be able to bring him right there. Can you go ahead and send the request, Comrade? معلش يعني هنا تعبناك معانا شوية. Yep, it's going through. أهلا وسهلا. I don't know why the volume is not working for you, Comrade Pagan. Yeah. So let me see what I can do here. Give me one moment. Let me find another way of being here. If that will work, let me try. I can get you on Skype. It's okay. Just I will keep your picture there. And then if we are able to get you on Skype as well, that can work. I'm going to try to call you on Skype, and that's okay. No problem. Yeah, unfortunately, you are not on Skype now. You are not live on the Skype. Yeah. I'm trying to connect you with the Skype as well. So this is not good. And so we are unable, you know, there. Aslu, they can hear me, but I cannot hear him. So guys, let's move on. We will try it again, and you know, later on, let me go ahead and bring you back here, Teresa. I apologize to our viewers because we tried really, really hard, but it didn't work for some reason. It looked like, you know, with some connection there. في حاجة ما كويس مع تلفون. Okay, let me go ahead and see this here. Charles, go ahead and request. Okay, I'm calling somebody else. Maybe we will be able. I really, really apologize, Jamal. We tried really, really hard and it didn't work, but we might get that settled later. So this is sometimes technology, you know, has the way to operate, but unfortunately, that's what happened. So Mandela Dow, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. Yes. How come we don't see your face?
What's going on? That's good. You can hear me. It's late here in Africa a little bit.
Okay. Well, no problem. Go ahead, brother. As you read the topic there, and you can see what we are talking about today.
All right.
Go ahead.
First of all, I want to take 1 minute to say one word. I would actually like to thank people of the tribe called Dinka. Especially, I want to thank them. A special thank to the whole Dinka.
I can hear you.
I said, I thank the Dinka people. You hear me now? You can hear me,
Yeah,
right?
Go ahead. I can hear you now.
Okay. Because I thank them. Why? Because they are doing the show for the change. At the same time, people are persecuting them that the government is for them. Even themselves, they are fighting against each other because they're saying, like, you see the show now, the Dinka here can be opposition and the Dinka here can be for the government. That's the way it should go on each side. And I think they are getting hand in Juba by Kir government. They are getting hand in Numli Road, in Ye Road. And they are still doing this for the change. A lot of them are on the good side, saying that we have a better system and we have to change it as all of us. They are not tribal. And I have to thank them regardless of their side. Whether you're on the opposition side, whether you're on the government side, I have to thank you if you are Dinka because we're doing better and people should learn from us and people should doing that from all the tribes of South Sudan to be able to see the bright side of this and say, these are ours. It's not has nothing to do with the tribe. Thank you. To come to our topic, I think.
No, I'm not mad, Rosaline, because I tried to operate the system though, but it didn't work. But anyway, this is not the last call. You know, he might come back and then we can have him, you know, so we can ask so many questions. And you too, anyone that can ask, you know, Comrade Pagan, many questions. I want to ask him many questions. Why things went wrong in the country? He was the general secretary of the party. And that's the opportunity, actually. I'm sorry, brother, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, concerned citizen of South Sudan. What is actually concerned citizen, like as our sister put it, we are concerned because we have something that we need to change. That's the concern, but otherwise we have our own perspective in life and in different direction and of aspect in life. But because we have seen something that going on in our country, that's why people are talking. That's why everybody is online right now, regardless of what you're doing. You come here to listen and to give your opinion on what we need to see happening in our country. We have a problem, and that problem is going to be addressed by us, because we cannot let it go on like that in our country, in our watch as a generation of today, and keep quiet, regardless of the people that saying that there is system. We don't have a system in South Sudan, and we should acknowledge that there's no system in South Sudan. There's a group of people, looters, and people who are finishing our own people, and then we still say we have a system. That should be eradicated, and people should talk about it, and people should take it away from people's mind that there's no system in Juba, and we need a better system to serve our people in South Sudan. Role of women have been put into a side that they have 25% or 20% in a system in South Sudan, and that's what they've been waiting for all the time, to be given. Instead, they should compete and get 100% that they want. They should not be giving a percentage. They can take the 100% of the system in South Sudan if they're able to. They should stand up for their right, and they should stand up for South Sudan.
Correct, brother. Go ahead.
We have seen here, there's a lot of the rest. We need to see them. We need to see women in playing their roles, and the change will not come without these sisters, like our mothers, our sisters, our wives. The thing is not going to happen without them. They need to be there. Then, like, this fighting is between men, yes, but
go ahead. Go ahead, Brother Mandela. I'm sorry, it looked like something wrong with the network there with Brother Mandela.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cut off a little bit.
Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is all of us. It's not just a certain group. It is not a certain tribe. It is not it has nothing to do with gender. It's all about citizens of South Sudan. We should stand up for our right and make that change that needed in our country. I think that will happen if we put our hand together and we put our mind together, and if we're concerned really as we put it as concerned citizen, then I think the bright side or the bright day will come ahead of us because of our effort. Each and every individual on this show will do a little bit of contribution, will put their mind into what they're doing, that this thing need me. It's not about the other person. It need me personally to be in there. It need me person to contribute to it, to talk about it.
Go ahead, brother.
We just need to keep doing what we're doing, and we appreciate those who are hosting the show, like you, Jongkor, and the rest. It doesn't matter who hosting it. Somebody will be on the government side doing the same show. We'll have to come and explain ourselves. Thing don't have to be personal. It has to be based on the topic, opinions. Give it, whether you agree with me or you don't agree with me. It's still fine. It's good.
That's correct. So now going back here, Brother Mandela, have you read the topic? Some people argued every time that South Sudan is not ready and South Sudan cannot be compared to United States or to Gulf countries or to any other countries who gained independence prior to South Sudan. And that's why I came up with the topic now today. Nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new. What do you make of that? How do you
Listen,
address
brother.
this? Go ahead.
These are excuses for the people who are trying to loot the country, and they've been looting the country in the name of the new nation. New nation, every time thing happen, new nation, we are new. You are new, but you have a lot of money. Why don't you be?
Hello?
Yes.
معلش خليك معي بس يا Mandela. I am able to get him through the messenger, so can you give me an opportunity? I will be able to call you back because I tried really hard here to connect the voice with the video, but it was not. But I will bring you on. I was able to get him through the messenger.
Go ahead.
So I really appreciate South Sudanese, who really, they have been patient here, comrade, and they actually wanted to hear your voice. A lot of people are, keep pushing there, telling me that you need to bring him back, and that's why I tried through my other phone with the messenger. So luckily, I was able to get hold of you. So first, I want you just, to introduce yourself to them, and then we will have some questions that I'm going to ask. Go ahead, comrade.
Thank you, Brother Jongkor, for inviting me and hosting me and welcoming me to your show. And forum. I would like also through you to thank all the brothers and sisters who try to help me with the issue of the voice. So many of you have called me and given me tips how to get to participate and reach my voice to the forum.
Correct.
So I thank you very much, and I thank everyone who has insisted that I join you in your discussions. So I thank you so much. This is Pagana Mumukej. I believe that many of you know me. Thank you.
Correct. Comrade Pagan, thank you. We have tried, and luckily we are able to get your voice at least through the messenger. Many of us here, we do this kind of show on the social media because we want to bring awareness to our leaders, to our ordinary citizens who don't know their rights, and to our leaders who have forgotten too, what was the war was about when we fought the oppressors, the North. And I recall, I believe that we were fighting for justice, liberty, and prosperity. So today, having you here on the show, many South Sudanese will ask a lot of questions. And I hope that you will be able, to answer their question because we are so concerned in many things that are going in our country. So first question, it will be coming from me actually. And then I will be watching here on my small screen if someone, throw in a question, and then I will communicate that to you. So my question is, as we are aware, we were fighting for justice, liberty, and prosperity. What happened, Comrade Pagana Mo, after we gained independence?
This is a very big question, and I will try to answer it. But first of all, thank you for this opportunity, and I will also like to assure you that I am all available to answer any question that anybody, any brother or sister, South Sudanese, or friend of South Sudanese who is participating that may pose to me. I am a public servant, and therefore I am answerable to all the people. There's no problem with that at all. So I welcome any question.
Okay.
Now coming to your big question, what happened?
Yes.
That is a question that can be best be answered by political analysts or historians when they write about what happened. But in my simple answer to this is that South Sudanese have struggled for generations to be free, and their struggle have been like the struggle of literally all the nations on earth, has been an up and down struggle with defeats and victories, and with success and failures. And this is what happened. In my view, what happened is that the leadership of the people of South Sudan that led the people of South Sudan in the last stage of our struggle, the SPLM, we suffered a reverse, even though we have achieved the independence of South Sudan and among other achievements, but we lost the vision of SPLM and we lost direction. And as you know, as it is in the Bible, when people and leadership lose the vision and direction, they become blind. And it is in the Bible, in the Proverb 29, that says that where there is no vision, the people perish. So that is my short answer. Simply, what happened is that is a loss of vision, a loss of direction, and we went in the wrong direction, which brought in negative ideas and ideologies like sectarianism and tribalism and corruption took the center stage, and it became the power. And that loss of vision led also to dividing the people of South Sudan and taking the country back to war again. And we have to find our way out of this mess, out of this blindness, out of these divisions and tribalism and devastating war, to back to the vision, so that we are able to be guided by such a vision to build a nation and build a state that is inclusive of all South Sudanese, a state that will be able to lay the foundation of building a free, peaceful, and prosperous nation, as you said. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for answering that question. And also, I can follow up with another question too, Comrade Pagan. But before I ask you that question, I want to congratulate you, because in many, in numerous occasions here, we keep asking all the opposition to unite, because we do believe that, if we are united, we are able to do good. But if we are divided, we are likely to fall. So I want to thank you for that, for uniting opposition to have a one voice, because we need problem to be tackled. My question here, Comrade Pagan, many people argue that you were General Secretary at SPLM. And we are all know that in political arena, the party leadership, okay, the party that is in control of the government, the policies will come through the party, leadership. And you were in charge of Secretariat of the SPLM party. What was the problem? Was it you didn't have absolute power within the SPLM party? And what was the problem? Exactly, because here we don't understand. Many people argue that you were General Secretary of the SPLM party. You understand my question?
I get you.
Yeah. So can you elaborate on this?
Any party has a leader, one leader.
Correct.
And this one leader is leading a body of leadership, an organ of leadership.
Okay.
And that organ of leadership is the one that provides the collective leadership if there is internal democracy and there is and there is collective or respect to the principle of collective leadership. If there is no internal democracy and no respect for the principle of collective leadership, then you have a dictatorship, or you have one single leader deciding everything or not listening to the views of the other leaders. And this happens in many political parties or organizations, including in many governments. What happened is that the SPLM is organized where you have a chairman who is the maximum leader, who has actually all the powers. The chairman of SPLM chairs the political bureau, which is the topmost leadership organ of the party. The secretariat is an administrative organ, basically providing support to the leadership. The secretariat can propose policies to be implemented. But these policies, if they are to become resolutions of the party, they move to the political bureau.
Okay.
They are taken as decisions of the political bureau. And those resolutions that are related to the delivery of the party, the ruling party in the government, they are taken to the executive in the government, and this is by the chair of the party, who is the top leader of the party, who is the leader also of the government. So it is the responsibility of the chair of the party, who is the president of the country, to make sure that with his team of the executive, including SPLM and other political parties, will be their responsibility to make sure that these are implemented. So the implementation of these policies are the responsibility of the SPLM in the government. And the responsibility of the SPLM secretariat is in the organization of the party, is in the mobilization of the people, and especially when issues like elections come, this is where the secretariat is responsible to make sure that its candidates win the election. And when there are issues like the referendum, for example, the secretariat will make sure that it mobilizes the people to vote accordingly, or to mobilize the people to support a particular specific goal. And if you want to assess the role, my role as a person, in terms of achievements or failures, you have to see it from the point of view of what the Secretariat has done. For example, what was the performance of the SPLM Secretariat and the Secretary General in the mobilization for the referendum? What was the failures of SPLM Secretariat and the Secretary General in the realization of the referendum and ensuring that the people of South Sudan vote on time without any delay, and that the referendum is not obstructed? What is the failure of the SPLM Secretary General in that the area of ensuring that the SPLM win the elections? This is where you can judge. Now, when it comes to the delivery of SPLM, the government. Who is in the government, and who is leading that process? What is the achievement and what are the failures?
Okay.
So this is what I will simply say.
Yeah.
Now I would like you to also do the assessment from also with a historical perspective. I am not the first Secretary General of the SPLM. During the struggle, the chairman was Dr. John Garang Damabia. The Secretary General was James Waniga. What was the achievements of James Waniga in that sense? And can you really blame James Waniga for the failures of SPLM during the struggle, or you put it on the chairman of SPLM? Can you give the credit of success and victories of the SPLM during the struggle to James Waniga or to the chairman of SPLM? Thank you.
Okay. That I think answer my question. And I have so many questions here as well.
Let's open the floor for the others of your
I can,
audience.
I can do open that. I have question from Edward here. Edward is asking you and the group, but we don't have to call you a group anymore because now you are one of the alliances. What is the role that you are playing hardly to bring about the peace to the country?
This is an assessment that can only be done by our people. We don't want to be pretending or become arrogant to say that we play the greatest role more than anybody else.
Okay.
That is not the case. But we are right from the beginning of the crisis. We took a very clear position. Before this war, we said there is need for internal democracy within the party. We also affirm the view of our membership and supporters that the SPLM has lost vision and direction, and that there is corruption that needs to be tackled. And these are the issues that we need to discuss.
Okay.
Internally, peacefully, and in a sober way. That was the position we took. And when the war started, and I don't want here to go into who started the war, because this is known by our people who was training forces, who deployed forces in Juba, and who started the war and where. All these are known by our people, and I don't need to be engaged in that. But we took the principal position that this war must stop, and we, as SPLM leaders who were detained right from detention, we said that this war must stop, and even if we are not released, we make our position clear that the parties to the conflict must accept to negotiate, bring an end to this war, and discuss how to form a government of national unity to heal the country and take the country in transition to peace and democracy. And that has been our position since then. So we have been working to mobilize our people, the region, the international community, to stop this war and address the catastrophic humanitarian situation that has been caused by this war.
Correct. So, comrade, our people are dying every single day. In South Sudan, someone can die for something that will cost £1, South Sudanese. They are dying in in UN camp, in Juba, in Malakal, in Bor, in Bantu. They are crossing the borders every single day. From my hometown of Northern Barkazal, they are going to the end, they are going to Babanusa. And if you recall, not too long ago, the mayor of the end declared that Junubin are not welcome here. They voted for independence. Why should they come back again? Okay. Not only that, we have South Sudanese, even in Khartoum, in very, very, very difficult situation in Uganda, in Kenya, in Ethiopia. The next revitalization peace process, which is going to take place on 26th of this month, can you assure the ordinary South Sudan citizen who are suffering every single day that peace is inevitable? Comrade?
It is difficult for me to predict and assure South Sudanese that peace is going to come with the 26th or with the invitation for the revitalization on the 26th of April. In my view, peace is eluding us because there are people who are afraid of peace because peace will come with accountability and justice. This, I believe, is what is delaying the process. Those who feel that they have committed crimes against humanity and against our people fear peace and they obstruct peace. And we have to find a way to allay their fears of justice and give them assurances that peace is important to come, and that is the only way to rescue our country from totally collapsing into chaos and disorder, which it is already in. But to rescue South Sudan, peace must come. So these are the issues that need to be addressed.
Yes, but is there any sense of optimism that is going to happen? Because we are yearning for peace and we are suffering. Even though we live here at the West, comrade, we are so suffering. And our relatives, we have to send amount of dollars every month. And imagine someone have children, have family. You have to pay rent. You have to pay all this sort of thing here. You already experienced this here in the United States. Is there any sense of optimism that there is a possibility this year?
We must be optimistic. We cannot lose our optimism. Peace is going to come. When will it come is what nobody knows. But the struggle should be for peace. And as a forum of concerned citizens, this is also a call for you that peace will only come when it becomes the voice of all South Sudanese who must unite to call for peace and pressure for peace. And you have to work for it here, not only to create awareness among yourself, but to also take other positive actions like engaging your congressmen and congresswomen to support the peace in our country and to encourage the government of the United States to bring pressures to bear on the parties to the conflict so that they stop this war, and to also bring encouragement and incentives for peace in the country, and as well as also calling on them to provide humanitarian assistance to save the lives of millions of our people who are being forced and forced out of our country or displaced internally.
Yeah.
This is something that you have to do, not only here in the United States, but also in Canada, Australia, in Europe, all over the world. Your mobilization will be very important, and being involved fully is what will shorten the suffering of our people. This is what will bring peace faster and stop this devastating war that is destroying our country.
Okay, thank you for that. And I have a question from Teresa Leila Jobe. She's saying that people are talking a lot about the Viva cell that you are part of, you have shared. We need some clarification, because sometimes they say, oh, it's Pagana Mom, you know, the shutdown that government have done. What is all this about? So they wanted to know.
This is very good, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to explain to you how VivaCell came about and many other companies. When I was Secretary General of the SPLM, I have taken a number of initiatives to develop sources of revenues for the SPLM as a political party. This is a proper work of a Secretary General who can think about the future, but also think about developing the country.
Correct.
And during the struggle, when Dr. John was our chair, I came up with an idea that the frequency spectrum, which was of course being controlled by Sudan then, is a resource that can be developed and put to good use and bring development for the territories that were under the control of SPLM under the new Sudan civil authorities. So we came with the idea, and then we made the proposal to acquire a license as SPLM from the new Sudan telecommunication authorities, which were headed by General Gier Chuang at that time. So the SPLM acquired that license. When we signed the peace agreement, this license was a subject of negotiations with the government of Sudan, which was the issuing authority of any telecommunication in Sudan, as per the CPA. That is a national power. So the government of South Sudan delegation, which was led by Dr. Riek Machar, with the membership of people like Michael McQuay and John Luke and others, they went and negotiated, and the license, which was issued by New Sudan civil authorities, was confirmed and validated by the Sudan government.
Okay.
When that happened, we then used this license to engage investors, and we engaged a Lebanese investor by the name Pierre Michael Fatouche. He has a company known as the Fatouche Investment. They are based in Switzerland and other places. They have telecommunication operations in different countries in West Africa and in Armenia and Eastern Europe and other parts of
the world.
I think Russia. So we reached an agreement with Fatouche Investment as an SPLM company. Now we have established a company by the name Wawat Securities. The directors of these companies are the SPLM secretary of finance and his deputies. By then, they were Gabriel Alat and Peter Agot. The Wawat Securities negotiated a joint venture with Fatouche Investment, and they signed an agreement with the following sharing: 25% for the SPLM, and the contribution of SPLM is the license and local facilitation. And the SPLM will receive $7 million after the rollout of the network. Fatouche Investment will have 75% of the shares of the company, and their responsibility is to invest 100% of the investment, which was estimated at that time at $450 million, to buy and transport the equipment and roll out these equipments to build the VivaCell network. That is essentially the agreement.
Okay.
The people representing the SPLM in the VivaCell investment are Wawat, with the directors Gabriel Alat and Peter Agot. And I believe up to today they have not been changed by the SPLM. And Fatouche on the other side is represented by Fatouche and 3 others. That is the VivaCell, how it started. Of course, we protected it. I personally protected this company as a Secretary General, and I was doing it as my duty as SPLM Secretary General. I was actually doing all this not for any gain to myself, but for the SPLM, and I resisted any attempt to privatize it and take it for private interest. And this is the truth. Now, the SPLM has been receiving from 2012 an income of $100,000 from VivaCell as part of the payment that was being done. Now, Paganamum has not a single share and is not benefiting from this operation as a person, not a penny. And I will even say, you, Jongkor, you know me. Since I came here, I visited the South Sudanese community in Salt Lake City, and I was with you there, and you can testify that even for me to be able to come and talk to the community there, it was you people in the community who were the people who accommodated me and who even sent me a ticket,
we did,
which was just $200. If I have such money, would I be able to be begging and be dependent even just for a ticket of $200? This is not only a campaign, a smear campaign for my name. It is much more than that. But what is good is that I know what is true, and I cannot be affected by this negative propaganda. But VivaCell is not the only investment initiative that I have started. I have also started the New Sudan Insurance. This is one of the largest insurance companies in South Sudan today. The SPLM owns 51% of that. The NIS, or National Insurance Company of Eritrea, owns 49. And from the time I was in Eastern Sudan, I have requested the Eritrean authorities, and Dr. John Garang helped a great deal, so that South Sudanese officers and cadres, SPLM cadres, are trained in insurance in Eritrea, in India, and they are now operating in Juba. Why are they not talking about that? And more than that, when we established the South Sudan Insurance Company, the president himself established his own insurance company to compete with the New Sudan Insurance Company, which is the SPLM, his own party, which is leading. He went competing against it. Now I'm hearing that there is a new company that the president has created, which is called Niletel, with his business partner El Cardinal, that they are shutting down Vivacel because it is partly owned by SPLM, and he does not want the SPLM to be independent in terms of its sources of revenue. He is taking it over after he failed to take the 25% share. Remember that when this initiative was started, even Vivacel was created as a result of an attempt to take away from the SPLM. Where is James now? And who is owning Gemtel today, after even it was sold?
Okay.
He's the wife of the president. We created construction companies. And these construction companies were marginalized and denied any opportunity when we had brought the best partners that could have even built South Sudan. But what happened? The president, the chairman of SPLM, created his own companies. Immediately when we discussed this, he agrees, oh, this is very good, we are going to do it, we are going to do that. And he met even with some of those partners, leaders of other political parties, national liberation movements from other friendly countries. And later on, he dumped this and he created his own construction companies like ABMC, which was looting the country. And when I discussed with him this and confront him, then he complains that why should I be confronting him? Why should I be discussing with him these things? I told him, don't do this. This is going to destroy the SPLM, going to destroy the country, including this war. I confronted him. I told him, don't take this country back to war. In 2012, he was already preparing to take the country to war.
Okay.
So people can be fooled sometimes, but not all the time.
But they cannot be fooled all the time. I like that.
Yeah.
So I have, some our viewers here, they are telling me that we need to focus on the peace, peace talk, because we know that what had happened. And of course, we are not going to keep crying about the past. We wanted to build the future. And we have been clear about it here in the social media, talking to ordinary concerned citizens of South Sudan. So the next question here, the alliances that G10 become part of, what is the objections of IO, why they are not part of these new alliances?
Let me give you some background and some information that other participants may not know. This alliance, South Sudan alliance of the opposition in South Sudan, is an initiative that the SPLM FDs were involved in right from the beginning. And we facilitated it actually. Even for the first meeting in Nyahururu, it was the SPLM FDs who met with the leadership of the government of Kenya, requested their support and facilitation in terms of availing a space for the opposition to come to Kenya. And we discussed a number of issues with them, including the fears of the opposition for their security, because in Kenya a number of SPLM-IO and other South Sudanese activists were abducted and taken to South Sudan. We discussed this with President Uhuru and with other leaders, like Foreign Minister, for example. And in the end, Kenya, the leadership of Kenya assured us that these were mistakes made by individuals. It was not a policy, and that they were going to reach out to the SPLM-IO particularly to give them assurances that something like this will not happen again for their cadres. And indeed, they started engagement. We connected them. And secondly, we requested that they offer us a space to come and meet and to bring the opposition together. And indeed, they offered us a space and they facilitated all other things until we went to Nyahururu, and we were coordinating as the FDs for the opposition to come together. We participated in the development of the charter, which was then called as the Nyahururu Declaration, which we signed. We were actually the first to sign. This is a background that I would like you to know, so that this impression that we are joining the Nyahururu does not create the impression that we were not for it or we were against it. But I want to say we were part of the process right from the beginning. The reason why we declined to sign at that time and ask the other groups to proceed with the signing is because the FDs were in government or are in government and are outside. And we needed to sort this issue internally among ourselves so that we take one clear decision, which we did. We met, or the SPLM FDs met in Kenya on the 5th of March and resolved to formalize our membership in the alliance and to proceed with the signing of the charter, which we developed together, and proceeding also with the coordination in the area of the search for peace and resolution to the conflict in South Sudan. This is a background that I wanted everyone to know, that we were involved in the initiative right from the beginning.
Okay.
And secondly, really it would be best that you host one of the representatives of SPLM-IO to answer the question.
Question why they don't want to participate, to be part of it. Okay.
They have issues and differences with in the charter and in probably the structure of how to deal with issues of the military or how to deal with the issues of decision making in the alliance. But I believe these are not strategic issues. I believe the SPLM-IO is desirous to work together with the other opposition. We have been working and coordinating together, and that will be overcome. I believe SPLM-IO, it will be a matter of time that they will join.
Okay, that's great. And I hope too they can listen to voice of concerned citizens, because sometimes I do see our leaders, they think maintaining a status quo, that's the only solution. But it's speaking to ordinary citizens like what you did today, that's a wonderful job actually. You need to speak to people, you know, to ordinary ones, so they can know exactly what you stand for and what you want to offer and what you wanted to do, you know, it's necessarily. So my next question, which is coming from the viewers here, people of South Sudan have tired of power sharing. Every time when there is a peace talk, we hear power sharing. Who can take who and who can live who? Now, why not about talking about the system? Reinstruct the country, having dropped a permanent constitution, do a census, okay? Do redistrict the district, because we believe that presentation is based on population. We don't hear all these things when there is a peace talk. We hear always power sharing, power sharing. And you are well aware that, comrade, here in the United States, and Nuer and Dinka and Shuluk and Anyuag and Lotuka and Bari, we all get along. People of South Sudan are not bad people, actually. The problem, it was from the leadership. We did not have any problem. I don't have any problem with someone from Shuluk. The problem has been created there on the top. And then we have been used. Is that possible if we have a system? And then we will not have any problem, because here now we get along. Why Nuer and Dinka and Shuluk and Anyuag get along in the United States and they cannot get along in South Sudan? Because there is no system. Okay, that's one question. If there is any introduction of system to be introduced in South Sudan for the next revitalization peace agreement? And also, what is the status of Riek Machar? Because I know that he has been in confinement for so long, and members of IO, they have been asking here. Riek Machar has been advocating when you and your colleagues were jailed by Kir, and now they said they are not hearing anything. So these are the two questions that I want you to answer.
Your first question is strategic and key. And I agree with your sentiment that South Sudanese should be discussing the reforms necessary to rebuild the state, our state, which is just a state which is nascent, just being born. And South Sudanese and the negotiations or discussions should be about how to build a nation. So the question is about state formation and nation building. When we come to transitional arrangements,
okay,
the problem is that there is a SPLM when they divided themselves, and when the war was started, and we know who started this war. You have opposition and you have the de facto government in Juba. Discussing power sharing in our situation and the form of government of so-called government of national unity, where you bring the enemies together so that they work to unite the people and bring back peace. In the case of South Sudan, that formula has failed. And the problem also is that President Kiir is saying that he can never work with Kiir again, with Riek again, and he does not want Riek to be part of the process. And they are saying that Riek can come to go for elections, but he will not be in the transition. Dr. Riak is saying that he is ready to work with Riak and he wants to join with Riak, with Kir again to form a government. And he has made a proposal of equal shares, 42, 42, and 16. 42 for SPLM-IO, 42 for SPLM-IG in the government with Kir, and 16 to the other political parties. That was his last proposal he sent to the mediators. And that, of course, has been rejected by the SPLM and government and President Kir. And it is clear that it will not work. So, in our view as SBFDs, and in my view as a person, to solve this problem and for us to focus on building our state and building a democracy, focus on the issues that you have just mentioned, building a constitution, reforming the state institutions, rebuilding our national institutions like the army, the security, the police that are inclusive and reflecting our national diversity, and institutions that are not partisan. Because the institutions that we have now, the army that you have in South Sudan today with the government, is a private army of Kir. Anybody who is opposed to Kir is out and is an enemy. The security that is in Juba is a private security of Kir. It's not a South Sudanese security. Actually, they cost more in security to South Sudanese than security. And they are not protecting national interests, but interest of one person. And therefore, these are not national institutions. We need national institutions in which we can have confidence and in which we will be all comfortable. Everybody, including Kir and his supporters. Because they are also South Sudanese, they have every right to enjoy their rights as South Sudanese under the law. These focused on these institutions are necessary so that we move, and the only way to focus on this, we must move away from this idea of power sharing and the cycle of violence that continues. You sign an agreement, you violate it. You sign an agreement, you go and form a government, you fight again, and you run out, you run in, you do this, you rebel, you attack as a government. This must come to an end. What is our proposal? Our proposal simply is that let President Kir and Dr. Riek Machar step aside.
Okay.
Including all the other leaders. Myself, leading a group, I must step aside, must not get into that government. Any other leader of the political forces must step aside. Any leader of any group must agree to step aside.
Okay.
So that it is not logical to say, let President Kir step aside and Dr. Riek takes it. Or to say, let Dr. Riek and Kir step aside and Pagana Mum says, I take it. This is not logical and it is not a solution.
Correct.
Because the question will be, why would you want to do that? Even why would Kir accept to step aside so that his enemies take it? Why? But if we say, let us step aside, all of us, in the interest of peace, in the interest of our people to have stability, in the interest of rescuing South Sudan to become a stable state and viable state again and take it away from this, you have to approach it that way. Then what next? What form of a government should we have in the transition that will be implementing all this? you need to have a neutral government, but that will be a caretaker government. It can be formed by technocrats of South Sudanese, from the civil society, from the professionals who are all over the world and inside South Sudan, including many of you who are participating, many of you who are concerned South Sudanese. There are leaders among you who can help South Sudan in this transition. Now, these will be people that we will all vet. And the negotiations then will be about agreeing to a new social contract, to a new charter, national charter, for us to rebuild our country, to build it as a peaceful country focused on providing a secure, stable environment for our people, where they express their freedom, where they focus on creating wealth and rebuilding their lives. And I believe the mediation can turn the process to a national roundtable right there. All of us, the political parties in the country, will be participants, the civil society, the women, the youth, the church, or the faith-based organization will be participating. And all of us will come and agree and vet and say, okay, who can lead the transition and become a neutral body that will be fair to all South Sudanese, particularly to all political parties, because there's going to be election at the end. We must make sure that the government organizing the election cannot be a biased government. If somebody who is in power contesting election will definitely manipulate and use the government power to elect themselves back again, so that they don't lose their power. This is our proposal. We have submitted it to all the parties. We said, look, let us have a new beginning. Let us have a break of violence. Let us rescue the country. And let us stop this violent power struggle. And let us give the power to the people who will elect their government in a free and fair election. So also the political forces must agree that to get to power will not be by bullets, but by votes. So no political force should have its own army. Because if we do it that way, then when the elections results are announced, there is going to be shooting. Those who lose, they will start to shoot. Then we are back to war.
Yes.
Again, this is very dangerous. And because of this also, if you are telling political parties not to have their own armies, then no one should have his own army, including the SPLM government, who are having what they call now South Sudan National Defense Force, is the army of the SPLM government, led by Kir. And nobody will agree from the opposition, especially those who are holding arms, after what has happened, to go again to Juba, to be at the mercy of the army of Kir and the security of Kir. It is just not possible. So we need to widen our horizon. We need not to be holding so tightly to power and not wanting to let it go. Let us give the power to the people and let the people elect their leaders. And even let us agree that when any political party win elections, we all recognize that they have won. They have won the majority this time. We will let them form the government for the period that has been given to them by our people, and let the rest be in the opposition and criticize the performance of the government and go back to the people at the end of that period to tell the people, this party that you voted on have failed. You vote us in. This is our program. We will deliver on them. And on it will go. We become a stable democracy like here in the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
And do not forget, even the United States of America, they've gone into a very devastating civil war. Their loss, civil war, was several times greater than their loss in the War of Independence, mm-hmm. or the Revolutionary War. So they have learned from their own
mistakes,
experience and mistakes. We have also to learn from our experience and mistakes, including from the devastation that is going on now. Thank you.
Yes. So we are going to keep you a little bit, Comrade Malish, because there is a lot of question, from South Sudanese people.
We may have to schedule for another day.
Yeah.
Because also I have other engagements.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you the last question here.
That is coming up.
Yeah, I have a last question here from Brother Agwat. Actually, he was saying, youth are the core of the society, are the backbone of the country. And in my program here, I have said this many times, we have bad practices in our tribes, In my own community, they in Jeng, Bugulu Randid all the time, Randid Yakulam, Randid Yakul Bed, Randid. So, and we have been treated as a young or Shabab. But how long we're going to be Shabab, we are not going to be given opportunity to participate so we can have our say. Because now we have children. So we are children, but we are being called Shabab. And they are not being allowed to participate because they can have a vision too in the country. At the same time, things are going in the wrong direction, Shabab are asking this question because the notion that, elderly or whatever, leader, they think, oh, Shemish Bitana Jai Bejai, win to Shemish Bitana Machited, win to Shemish Bitakum Jai Bejai. So now we have to have an opportunity to eat, and then you guys are going to be later. How are we going to learn how to put things in order? This is the question from youth.
I agree with you that the youth is the backbone of the nation. And when we talk about youth, sometimes in South Sudan, when you talk about youth, many people understand it as male youth. This is wrong. And the youth, both female and male, are the backbone of any nation and are the people who always take the nation forward. And especially when the youth take the mantle and step forward to provide leadership. This SPLM, that the organization which brought the independence of South Sudan, it was actually a movement of young people. Jongkor was 37 years old when the struggle started and when he was leading. Mm-hmm. I was in my early 20s, mm-hmm. and the majority of those who are in the struggle now were all young people. Yes, they were elderly among us, but it was largely young people who brought this country to where it is. Mm-hmm. But I would like you and I would like all the youth and all the young people to know that when we step forward to assume the leadership of our people and the struggle of our people, it was not given to us by the elderly. We took the initiative. Actually, the elderly at that time, they were in serious crisis of divisions of South Sudan itself, among themselves, because of problems of tribalism and regionalism and all that. And that was the time that the youth rebelled. And many of us spent their youth in the struggle.
So,
tens of thousands
I just have
of young people gave their lives.
Comrade, I have a follow-up with that, because Agud was saying that, were you able to recruit youth within the SPLM party so they can be leaders of tomorrow?
Was I recruited when I joined the struggle by anybody? Of course, in the SPLM, the majority of its membership are youth. Even up to today, as we speak, the majority of its membership are young people, and of course, the majority of them are now frustrated. Some have left the SPLM and have gone dormant. Others have left the SPLM and joined or formed different opposition groups, and some are there with the SPLM in government.
Okay. Well, Comrade Pagan, I know that I took your time, but at the end, I really, really appreciate for you coming in today and talk directly to ordinary South Sudanese people. That's what it shows leadership, because maintaining status quo will take us nowhere. Because I've seen that so many leaders, they think what we do here is just waste of time. And actually, we are not wasting time. We are talking about the real issue. We have a lot to offer. You know, we think, we feel, we care, we love our country. And that's why we do this. I hope many others will have the courage to come and answer questions to South Sudanese people. I will let you go so you can do other things that you are engaged in your daily basis. Thank you so much. And
thank you, Brother John Jongkor, for hosting me and for giving me this opportunity to participate with the rest of your participants and to answer the questions that are of concern to you, all of you as South Sudanese. And I hope we will meet again. And I would like to point it to you that I am available anytime when it is possible for me with my schedule. But I'm here, and I believe that it is always good to discuss and engage. It is also good to submit ourselves to you as our people, for you to criticize us, to encourage us, to even those who would want to condemn us, if they have every right. This is what leaders are for, and that in the end, the people are the masters. We are all servants.
correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
You too. Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks to all concerned citizens of South Sudan for this special, I think I call it a special episode. That was the Brother Comrade Pagana Mom, you know, speaking to you. We were able to connect him through the messenger. I tried to do it through live video, but unfortunately we have an issue with the video, so I wasn't able to get that through. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go back here and see who else have requested, so we can do more, go back to our topic and do more analogy about what we talk about today. We still have more time here together, so I really appreciate your patience and, you know, courageous and being part of this. Let me see here who are those. I have long list. So Please be patient. Nothing is personal. If I didn't pick you up, I might pick you up next. So let's go ahead and do this. Yes, I will go for you. But I'm going to go to Khartoum now for Stephen. I'm calling you right now. Stephen, I'm calling you right now. I hope you answer, and then we can move forward. Yeah, no problem, Brother Wilson. And so, Stephen. I hope this thing will work, Stephen. Okay, it looked like Stephen has an arrow there with the internet. I'm going to go ahead and move for the next person, and then I will get back to him as well. Let me see here. Let me see if I will go for you. We have to bring in, ladies. See there, we put the topic more. Ladies has to be included today, but we're still going to go back to our topic and go forward and do all this thing. And it's good that we delay our program today so brothers and sisters in Australia can participate. Galtic. So please answer that call right now, and then I'm going to move back and forth with brothers here in Khartoum and those in Europe and those in America. So I'm calling you right now. Hook, please answer the call, if that's possible. So it's connecting. Okay, let me do this and try it again. Can you call me again, Apu, so I can get refreshed? Because it looked like that one actually didn't go through. I want to give ladies an opportunity now. You are not even near there. I don't see you at all requesting. Please request.